Hello everyone, welcome to Forever Sports. And some interesting news for Springbok fans is that Handre Pollard could be on the move next season with his contract at Leicester coming up to an end at the end of the season, and apparently 10 clubs around the world all potentially looking at bringing in the World Cup, double World Cup, let me rephrase, the double World Cup winning fly half to sort of steer their team really in the very big fly position, which always commands a big name, big presence, and with it, a very big salary. And apparently, Leicester apparently very keen on keeping him. A couple of other Premiership clubs interested. I'm sure you have shooters in the top 14, as well as in Japan. And apparently a couple of South African sides also weighing out a potential move for him, although very, very surprised if we can find this sort of the financial means. Before you go into it, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. So basically what's happened is that last year, towards the end of the year, Handre Pollard spoke about the fact that he wasn't sure whether he was going to be staying at Leicester next season or making a move. And report released an article yesterday saying that as many as 10 clubs are interested in signing the now 30-year-old. And apparently his salary is looking at anything between 640 and 860,000 pounds a season, which is basically between 50 and 20 million rand. He's one of the best players in the world. Now, the article itself says that there are 4 Japanese clubs that are looking for fly halves next year and very much interested in Pollard himself. And also, main things have the sort of the financial capacity to try and sign them. One of them being Suntory Sungoliath, which is where Cheslin Colby currently is, who's also one of the world's leading sort of earners. And they've got a rich history of having sort of big fly halves, the likes of Matt Gitto, Burden Barrett, Nicolas Sanchez, Gareth Anscombe, all having played for the club. So they're not a club that's not as afraid to splash really a lot of money on that key position. Now, the big thing, obviously, from a second perspective is, could we see a return to South Africa? Apparently, that some of the big South African teams have made inquiries of Pollard's future plans. We know that that's not the Lions. I can tell you that for free because, as somebody who's earning 15 to 20 million rand, even if we were to take a pay cut like 10 million, the Lions are never going to play that. Probably can't even afford to pay that. So the big sort of question marks would be potentially a homecoming to the Stormers in terms of where he grew up and played rugby growing up. Maybe coming back to the Bulls where, Johan Goosen has really struggled. Now he's got the injury. And apparently the Bulls are actually so desperate for a fly half that they're actually looking at trying to renegotiate Billy LaRue's a contract for next season. At this stage, Billy LaRue was apparently looking to leave now, and apparently now they've brought him back to the table and said, listen, they kind of want him to stay on, but as a fly half for next year's season, given the unreliability of Johan Goosen as well as the form of Johan Goosen, Buller Chamberlain, a very solid player, but not quite the sort of level that the Bulls are currently looking at. And then obviously the big option then is the Sharks in terms of the side that's willing to spend the money. Be very surprised if the Sharks would be interested, and they've just brought in a Jordan Henry, so they've still got Sia Masuku, and so they've got options at 10. And I think that, given the fact that Jordan Henry, I think it's probably going to be sort of big number 10 for the Sharks in many years to come. I'd be very surprised if they're going to go and spend that kind of money off that British brought Sia Khaleesi, for example, who'll be on a big contract. Even Etzebeth's on a big contract. So the Bulls makes the most sense in terms of them being desperate for a fly half with the Johan Goosen situation. The Stormers would be a nice sort of story. He came up through the youth ranks, then went up to Pretoria, played for Tuks Bulls, made a sort of name, went over, he's played for Montpellier, played now for Leicester Tigers, been very good for Leicester Tigers as well. So it'll be a nice sort of full range circle if you come back to Stormers. Once again, I'd be surprised if they've kind of got the financial capacity to be able to bring him on. And apparently the talk is that 10 million rand could be sort of what he'd have to earn if he were to come back to South Africa. So that's kind of what I think the clubs with the South African sides have to sort of try and talk up. The big thing is, for example, you look at like Sharks, they might not be paying any of their players 10 million rand directly, but they've got the whole brand deal situation where all of a sudden you arrive at the Sharks and you're suddenly an ambassador for this brand and this brand, and you got this brand deal, and they do a lot of work with you with Rock Nation to try and find you personal endorsements to try and sort of bring your salary up to what you would probably be earning elsewhere in the world. So it'd be so very cool to see him back in South Africa playing weekend. It'd be so nice to be able to pop to Loftus and watch him play every second weekend, and it'll be really nice for next generation of flyers to be able to play against him, have him in the system. I personally be very surprised. I don't think he comes back to South Africa. My gut says he goes to Japan. He can earn the big money. It's another experience. It's a very light schedule in comparison to playing in the URC top 14, the likes of that. So that always continues to sort of be the number one first choice for a lot of our players. But what do you think? And which South side would he suit the most in playing style? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. I'll chat to you soon.